Good morning, everybody. It's Jeff Eichen here with My Father's Garden still. Kim Chernin, who has been called an eloquent and passionate writer by the New York Times. In My Father's Garden, her own spiritual yearnings. Through the lessons of her father's garden, Chernin has found the balance between mind and spirit, between contemplation and action. This is to Chernin, as Publisher Weekly writes in a review, the basis for a new spiritual politics. I love it. I have new spiritual politics. That's free the hair. So, uh, my friend Kimberly, my friend Beverly, they all have a LY on it. And bless you all, the LY girls. I had her over the other night during Steampunk, and we had a meal, and then we watched some music videos and danced in the living room. But she brushed my hair out. It's still out, and I even went swimming in between there. So my hair is big these days, and that's all I know. So I'm going to get to it and read us a little bit about My Father's Garden. I take Lynn's hand. This too is representative gesture. Lynn's hands are cold. Mine are equally so. Maurice and I are sitting beside her bed, sometimes silent, sometimes chatting, sometimes talking about Lynn, who hears us, smiles, wryly, occasionally comments. I'm holding Lynn's right hand between my own, trying to keep the pressure as light as possible. Meanwhile, my hands have begun to grow warm. At first, I feel apologetic about having noticed a slight redness in my hands, which have always been, I've been embarrassed. It embarrassed me. I didn't want to withdraw my touch, or I would certainly slip my hands beneath the folds of my skirt, and why I often do to keep them hidden. Lynn is laying quietly. She has not drawn up her knees in pain. Therefore, I myself grew quiet. Maurice looks at my hands, and I wonder if she finds them extremely ugly. By now, it has been beyond redness, perspiration. My hands are heating up with the intensity that seems to stream out of them into Lynn. Maurice and I exchange a glance and a gesture, and my part that amounts to a shrug off my shoulders. Nevertheless, I wouldn't let go if my life depended on it. The radiant streaming sensation goes for a long time, and during which I can't take my eyes off of Lynn. I feel as if I'd been glued to her, and if there was nothing in I feel as if I'd been glued to her, and if there was nothing in life that mattered more than my being here, to let this warmth pass through my hands into hers. Then her left hand began a slow, toilsome journey across the bed, passes across her body, and sadly moving in my direction until our hands are, four of them, are clasped together in the radiant knot. Because I'm afraid of my thoughts, I try to keep myself from thinking. Cloud patches of not quite thought cross the space. I'm trying to keep empty. Remember the family story about my grandmother and her heading and her healing hands. I have heard that my mother, in the wildness of her grief, when my sister was dying, took her to faith healers. Do you have faith? Are you a healer? I think it's about listening to the moment, listening to the hands. So, this was my thought in reservation to the way of the old country. My own hands have always been useless, dropping things, unable to thread needles, tie knots. Now my hands have become knowing, autonomous, indifferent. To my confusion, they have found their work. They are getting on with it. In the most focused moments, trying to take a stock of what is happening, I feel that I'm being hollowed out so that the radiant energy can flow through me into Lynn. This energy does not seem to be mine. It arises elsewhere. It seems to pass through me as if Lynn and I were threaded into a mysterious world that works in silence, cannot be named, throws itself open to those who are dying. Finally, Lynn says, "It's too much," and moves her hands away from mine. Instantaneously, the heat withdraws from my hands and they begin to cool down. They lose their redness. Within a few moments, they have returned to their usual ice-cold state. It is very quiet at the bedside. Not at all what I had imagined a deathbed would be. The room seems awash in a golden stillness in which Maurice and I have always been formal with each other, now perceptibly relaxed. When Lynn wakes up, I'm getting ready to leave. She whispers to me, and I lean down and kiss her goodbye. I love you. Maurice says, "What happened before, Ma? Why did you take away your hand? Did you feel something?" Lynn responded, matter of factly, there was too much energy, she says. I couldn't take any more. Maurice and I were outside together. We were standing in the front of the door, and almost awkwardly, it is easy to step out to the street where my old gray Saab, shimmering through its dirt coating. Maurice hugs me goodbye, and then thanks me. She says, "I will send you a check." We are facing each other, and I'm caught in one of those moments where I'm likely to talk too much because I don't know what I'm feeling. How are you feeling this morning, everybody? It's Jeff Eichen with the morning readings, and we're hearing some real stories from In My Father's Garden. No, no, I say, to gain time in a rush, could never possibly charge for this. I will come whenever she asks for me. Maurice considers this. If you're sure, she says, but I know she knows I am. Pardonnez-moi. Maurice considers that, and she knows I am. She walks with me down the driveway towards my car. John has driven up with the dogs, and they're frisking around in the streets and just turned into the river of dark and light. And now I wade across to the old sob. If I were paddling through a beatitude, some words in the English language. So the walk across from the room to the door in Lynn's bed in the is a bobbin on which the weeks of lying, dying have been turned. Each time it is the same passage. Each time I have to walk to my sister's dying. I have to walk past my sister's dying. Each time during the slow walk across the room, the dogs coming along the way, I sense the presence of an unseen world, as if dying made it more available than usual. When I am not with Lynn, I feel that I'm connected to her by a fine filament of concentration. Sometimes feeling becomes so strong I have to sit down on the floor and put my head in my hands and come to terms with it. The days when I was rational, skeptic, seem to have ended a long time ago. I can explain that what is happening to me, I am willing to live it out through it all of the mystery. If I can rest from something of value for Maurice and Lynn, Maurice and I have agreed she can call me anytime, as many times a day that she needs to. Lynn and I have agreed whenever she wants me to come sit with her, I will come. My role is largely passive. I wait, I prepare, I gather my resources, I let myself open to whatever the unknown powers seem willing to help me. I have wanted to find a vocation that would draw me beyond myself. This work found me. That's allowing, everybody. Just allow the flow. This work found me. It is Maurice who has the daily work of providing her mother with the most comfortable, best possible dying. For the macabre, what the F? I'm really blessed to read My Father's Garden. Maybe we'll get back to the garden soon. But for Big Hair Day, it's amazing to be with you all this morning. Drink my mushroom chai here and get ready to do some organizing and make some more art and get busy for my concert and the remake of Don't Bogart That Joint. So Hem Hem Hooray, we had a great show this week. And thank you for the morning readings, everybody. There's a little bit of everything in my salad this morning, so be well to yourself, be kind to others, and remember to go tend your garden, water thoughts, memories, and organize. Get organized. I'm doing some organizing. I don't have anything new here that I found, but I found some really pretty incredible stuff this week going through my stuff, and it's emotional for sure. Just like we're learning about Maurice and the mother, and everybody, everybody here in the book here. It's really quite interesting to follow somebody through their dying days. I've done it a few times myself, so live life strong, and upgrade your RAM and back up your computer. Okay, love and light, everybody. That's all I got.